Om Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Hingulambikaya Namaha. Om Kamakyaya Namaha. Om Kalakalaya Vidmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahi Tannah Kala Bhairava Prachodayat. Om Hingule Paramahingule Amratarupini Tanu Shakti Manashive Shri Hingulaya Namaha. Namaskaram. Welcome to series video of Swarnakarshana Bhairava. This is a little bit of prayatna to just know our Guru Bhairava in a different Swarupas. See, as we have a very limited information, we see that actually Kubera or Lakshmi are being seen as the deities of wealth. So, Siri is nothing but the wealth, prosperity in all the means. So I believe you happen to go through the both the videos which I have shared from the Swarnakarshana Bhairava Swaroopa perspective. So we will talk next aspect about Kubera. So I believe you most of them would be having a question like how did the Kubera uh, join to the hands of the prosperity? How actually he got the ministry of prosperity? Like you know that actually every deities devatas have been given one particular of um, karya or what we call it as actually the task which need to be driven. Similarly, Kubera was being given as he would be the devata of wealth. You can. He also was being called as an dhanada because of the wealth, the prosperity he pours into the life of the sadhakas or the upasakas, whoever invoke him in their life. Normally, he pours a lot of the money by creating a lot of an opportunity. See, basically, we need to understand many things from the Kubera perspective. Basically, the Kubera journey towards the prosperity. So, how exactly he became that the wealth, the devata of the Siri or Dhana. So, I would like to give little information about Kubera. Maybe this information would be really essential for you to know Kubera a little better as what we know today from a limited information what we have from a social media perspective. As a upasakas, we need to know like uh, when particular deity he is being uh, tagged or he is being governed for entire wealth. How exactly he being a so much of upper ranking from a ranking perspective, who was the person behind the showman behind this, who actually gave him so much of money? So those context actually will be able to learn. So long ago, so like it has been said that actually the Rishi Visharava, I believe you would be knowing, he is a greatest sage of he was a like greatest upasaka of Shiva himself. So he used to do the puja Shiva in a Dakshina Murti Swarupa. So he used to actually um, had a very greatest devotion of Shiva. He has written lot of scriptural books, and he had two wives. So Visharava had two wives. One female was um, Ilva, or we can call it an Ilvada. Okay, Ilvada. Okay, and other was actually Kaikeshi. Ilvada, I believe you many of them would be knowing it. Ilvada is actually a Rakshasi. She was actually from Rakshasa. She was born to a Rakshasa family, and and even if you see her father, Ilvasha's father was also a greatest sage. His name was actually um, Pulistya Rishi, if I recall correctly. Hmm? Pulistya Rishi is actually, to give it this background, how Ilvada is actually connected is um, Pul- Pulistya is actually. let me just connect like in this format. Have you ever heard about Vishnu Purana or Vishnu Sahasranama, normally whatever we recites? Vishnu Purana actually was written by the Rishi called as an Parashara. I believe you guys would be knowing it. Parashara, there are many scriptures which was being created by Parashara. So Parashara's guru was actually Pulokshita. So who was Pulokshita? Pulokshita was father of Ilvada. And who is Ilvada? Ilvada is a mother of Kubera. And she was the first wife of Visharava, that is Kubera's father. So all this started like she being a first wife. Second wife is Kaikeshi. Kaikeshi is actually, I believe you would also be knowing it. She is also from a Rakshasa Vamsha. Rakshasa Vamsha because even see previously we had an always the storylines always tell that actually Rishi Munis actually had the to make one particular kula uddhara. So they used to actually marry one particular female into their Rakshasa Vamsha, such that actually their Vamsha would be much more being seen into a different way of karmas they want to get carried. So with that note, even Visharava, Pujya Visharava also was able to um, get married two women from a Rakshasa Kula, Ilvada as well as Kaikeshi. Kaikeshi is actually the mother of Ravana. I believe you would be knowing it. We have also learned from many of the storylines which is available in today's social media that it's been said like Kubera as well as Ravana are brothers, but they are not direct. I can call it as actually like they are brothers of same father. Okay, so Kubera is a son of Ilvada, and Ravana is a son was a son for Kaikeshi. Kaikeshi, they had a two different uh, n- characteristics when both the matas were actually nurturing the kids. So, for Ilvada, she had only one son, Kubera. She did not had any other sons or daughters, no. But Kaikeshima actually she had four three sons and one daughter. I believe you would knowing it. It is Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, as well as Surpanaka. And Kaikeshi was also a actually we can call it as was actually her father was an asura like Kumbini. Like I believe you would be knowing it. King of Somali. We call it as King of Somali. I really don't know whether it is today's Somali place, but actually it has been written in the scriptures that Somali she was a princess, princess of Somali, and the king of the Somali was Kumbini. Okay, so that's how actually all stories started. Then they were able to Kumbini, the king, was able to give his daughter Kaikeshi to Visharava. From Visharava and Kaikeshi, they had the four kids. Why I'm trying to tell you these aspects is just we need to know from the contextual perspective, like how Kubera is connected to Ravana. So how their bloodlines get connected and how exactly their father and mother are interconnected with what type of Vamsha Vriksha, what they have it. See, here we need to also understand Visharava actually was a very greatest rishi of, and he had a lot um, devotion towards Shiva, and he had like ambition in such a way that actually he wants his sons actually to become a greatest aradhakas of Paramatma, Paramashiva. So that's how actually he was trying to nurture both the wife's sons. Here actually, it's been said in scriptures like Ilarava actually she took care of the son Kubera in a very soft nature person guy. He was by the nature only he was very soft. Okay. He was very soft by the way he used to see his father doing the puja, yajna, havana, homa, and he used to always see his father and always had a desire that actually even I need to perform all these things, even I need to achieve all the siddhis what actually my father possesses. That's what actually as a Kubera was little different compared to the Ravana. Ravana, why his nature was like this, it has been said, okay, it has been said in one of the scriptures, Puranas, Upakarmas, stating that Kaikeshi, actually, she had a, overshadowing the Ilarva, where she actually had an ambition and desire of taking over the power. Like, she wants his elder son to be actually more powerful in this universe, Ravana. Okay, so she always used to make him understand that actually power and siddhis, acquiring siddhis is very very important. Even if you see both the sons, Kubera or else even the Ravana, they were the greatest devotee of Maha Shiva Paramatma. And here, how Bhairava get connected, we will try to know those about those aspects. But before that, let me also tell you how Kubera, like in the childhood days, how he had a love towards his Ishtadeva. Kubera, by young, means like in a very young age, he had a connection by sitting to his father and listening to him. Whenever his father used to actually have a Gurukula, teach multiple kids and talk them about the Vedas, and even Upanishads, he always think that actually, even I need to learn all the scriptures. Okay, wherein actually Ravana was also the same level of information he used to carry, but in little bit of, see here I don't want to coin the word as tattva perspective, as he was a Rajasika, Tamasika, or Satvika Swarupa. No, see, all the three combination is very much needed. I can call like actually one particular tattva was very high comparative to the Kubera's the way of natural being with his father. So Kubera always used to focus on the prayers. He used to always see that he disciplinedly follow the learnings which his father used to teach him and engage. Despite challenges of in his family, actually Kubera stayed humbled every time, humbled and peaceful. He always used to choose the peace in his childhood days, following the path of the goddesses. Like being a even Rakshasa coming from the Rakshasa Kula, even it is also told like he is a Yaksha. Even it has been also in one of the scriptures it is written that Ilvida or Ilarva, the Ma Ilarva is actually, yeah, she is a Yaksha, comes from the Yaksha family. But rather than we going into that where exactly their family root comes from, we will try to learn actually like how exactly they got connected to our Paramaguru Swarnakarshana Bhairava. So this was actually the childhood days of Kubera, wherein actually here actually was there was one sequence like Pulastya. Pulastya is actually, I believe, you recall, Pulastya is the Ilarva's ma's father. Okay, so whenever he used to notice his grandfather also, and his grandfather, he used to actually see him the way the son, his grandson was growing up, and he was always happy, and he used to always tell his mother that this guy is going to be a mm, above the greed and pride. He will live as an amara. Okay, so and he will become one among the devata. But that was actually, as an individual journey, everyone need to invoke themselves that actually when we come into this existence we always need to have a pursuit of getting the liberation as a topest our priority. But of course we all entangle with the materialistic requirements, seeing that actually that if I get this I would be happy, if I get that I would be happy. See, believe me, our ancestors had a certain eyes to see from us. um, they used to actually easily gauge that actually what this particular kid is going to be. How? One, their tapo bhala, we can call it as their number of tapas, whatever they had done, and even whatever the raksha or the boons what they had got from the devatas. It was one of an very important factor as a Pulastya becoming a very greatest guru of Manukula. Because Parashara, if I want to talk about the Narayana, whatever we have like Narayana Purana or Vishnu Purana especially, it is gift of him. Yeah, maybe actually the Purana, if it comes to the Vishnu Swarupa, it is again like I see even in Vishnu Swarupa also there is one articulation about Vishnu Bhairava Swarupa. I believe you have no seen about the series of Ashtabhairava. There actually we spoke about this. Maybe about how exactly our Guru Bhairava actually crosses across all the parameters of Puranas, Vedas. Maybe I'll try to share all those informations depending upon his suggestion and support. People ask me like actually you make the video of ABCD or telling me that actually you please make the video of the Mata immediately, telling me the making the video. See again, I always humbly convey them that see I don't have that capability to even talk about the Kubera or the Daivata. Today, whatever the topic we want, even what I have, it is actually I really don't know. When I sit in front of the camera and talk, it is only like with the grace of Bhairava. Actually, I try to share some information. Yes, there are certain pointers I will make it that these are the information which I should not miss out of the track. So on those aspects, I try to give my best information to you all. And see, whatever your requirements are there, I'll really bow down and accept those. Surely, I will give my best to mm, get those information. Or from a Purana perspective, is there any kind of a crossover of Bhairava in that particular ayama? If it is so crossing, I will surely talk about those. But let him decide when he need to be disclosed, rather than we getting into like I need to know something more early. It's not. I'm sorry, we lost the track. We'll come back. Bhairava. Okay, Kubera in his younger age, I was trying to tell, and even Pulastya Maharushi, if you recall, like Pulastya Maharushi is the greatest sage of humankind. Even these rishis actually had a direct accessibility to go all the realms, even Kailasha, Vaikunta, Brahmaloka. They used to actually easily go to the lokas and they used to actually directly talk to the um, Bhagavans, and they used to actually take suggestions, and they used to also guide the Devatas also sometimes. See, that is a reason when it comes to the Rushikula, it is always very, 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 very important. Even whatever the mantra we do, a Ucharana, mantra also has something called as a nyasa. Maybe I'm trying to go out of the topic, but still little bit I'll try to touch. Nyasa is somewhat like a six layers of information which we need to know as a upasaka. Or when you do any kind of an aradhana to any devata, you need to know like what particular mantra you are reciting, and what mantra actually who has invoked that, which Rishi actually initially they were able to get this, which Rishi actually activated this. All these things actually will come. So maybe I will talk about this in a very detail in maybe in upcoming videos. But in a very short note, if I want to tell, in the six layers, whatever we have as an information, it is said that actually we need to know about the Rishi, we need to know about the Devata, which Devata we are actually activating the mantra, associated mantra with, and Shakti, which kind of particular Shakti is actually channelizing that. Like normally in that particular mantra, there would be one Shakti. Okay, and fourth will be something called as in Bija Akshara, or which what we call it as a syllable or a seed. Okay, that is an essence of the mantra. Unless the Bija Akshara is not there, that mantra will not be powerful. Okay, next is actually called as in Chandaha. Chandaha means to say like the length of the mantra, how much length the mantra is to be. So that is also one calculation. The last one is Kilakam. Kilakam means actually it is locked. So maybe sometime when we talk about Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, we'll talk about this in a very detail. Every mantra in this existence, in this universe, is actually a gift of our Paramashiva. Okay, he himself in the Swarupa of Dakshinamurti, and he was able to recite all this information to Ma Parvati. Many scriptures talk about the different avatars, or we can call it as different Swarupas. But here I'm not trying to tell Shiva as one particular Swarupa. He being a the controller of the cosmos. Okay, so that's where actually it's we need to look upon. So that was coming back to the story. Yeah, Kubera's childhood days. This is how actually he was with. He had actually given a boon, even as a grandfather. He had given a boon even to his grandson that he will be one of the like he will rise above the pride and greed, and he will be making a symbol of prosperity. This was actually his boon from his grandfather first initially. So Kubera, hard working and blessing from Brahma, whatever we see is, um, Kubera always had one desire that actually he should live a meaningful life in his life. And so he began to long doing a penance, what we call it as a tapas. Okay, tapas. He took over the decision that actually he will do a tapas for Brahma, of the Creator, asking him that actually I he need to have a meaningful life. He need to actually elevated life into the better shape. As we being the sadhakas of Guru Bhairava, we normally do a sadhana of him. It is somewhat like the same way. It is also a tapas. It is also a penance. Knowing, thinking, uh, even listening to him, all this is a tapas. So for many years, it's been said that actually when Kubera sat and performed the pronunciation, that is actually his tapas. Okay, uh, the greatest, uh, we can call it as he left all the everything only on air. Actually, he was surviving, and he used to do a to try to activate Brahmadeva. So Brahmadeva, finally Brahmadeva appeared to him, and because of his dedication, love, as well as his the intensity of the tapas, what Kubera was able to perform, Brahmadeva was supposed to come. So that is the reason. I'll just go out of the track. That is the reason. Always it is being told, when you do Nama Japa with your utmost love, believe me, devata do not have a other option to even miss out. They are supposed to come, they will come. Okay, so coming back, so that's how actually Brahmadeva was able to give his swarupa, darshana to Kubera. And he was asked like what boon he would like to know. It's said that actually from Brahmadeva only he got a boon of becoming the lord of wealth and the prosperity, and he becoming the protector of the north direction. It's also been said in Vastu Shastra very clearly that it is a water element from a north direction perspective. However, from a Devata perspective, it has been said it is actually governed by Kubera. So it is north, whatever we call it as a Nandi Vagalu, or whatever you call it as the north side door. It is considered as one of the very auspicious. I'm not trying to talk more about from the Vastu perspective because it's a very huge dynamic information. We can get it from the each pad as well as a um, direction perspective. So coming back, he was being given a boon by Brahma himself that you would be the protector of North. So in Vastu Shastra, um, Kubera is very, very important. It has been considered that whatsoever, when we do any kind of a Vastu analysis, every house actually has all the 45 devasat getting activated in the Brahmasthana of the house or a Brahmasthana of the office or the premises. Automatically, when Brahma is activated in the Nabhi Swarupa, north exactly is being considered as the powerful place where actually prosperity get into our life. Okay, so that particular zone was uh, as a caretaker, or we can call it as a protector of the north zone. Brahma was able to give a boon to Kubera. So and basically he also gave one city. It is also said that actually Brahma gave him one city called as an Alkapuri. So Alkapuri is filled with complete treasures, and we can call it as the beauty. Okay, Mm, beauty in such a way that they have, you name it, you have it in that particular place. Okay, that is the actually whatever we call it as the loka of treasures, Alkapuri. Okay, it's written even in Puranas that Alkapuri is the one of a place where all our materialistic fulfillments get fulfilled. That is a place where actually Kubera stores his wealth. Okay, and use wealth to help others, spreading the happiness. He took care of that particular domain, or we can call it as that portfolio. He was able to take care. Once he became the king of the wealth, he got a boon and he became a king of the wealth. And when Brahma blessing was there, mm, He actually also had like being a, as I told you, like many of the stories tell that actually his mother was from Rakshasa Kula, but few of them actually also share that actually he being a yaksha, he was being governed as the wealth of the nature, even from the Kaula perspective, whatever we call it as Kaula Tantra, even from that perspective also, Kubera is also being considered that there as a wealth devata. His city, like Malkapuri, was a magnificent filled with, as I told you, like golden plus. It's a golden palace basically, okay, sparkling with all the jewelries, garden full of diamonds, life, full of life, okay. And Kubera was um, humbled and the generous of having and taking ownership of this. And even Devatas, if they want any kind of an financial uh, boon need to be given, they always used to take a support from Kubera. That's what actually has been written in the scriptures. There was actually a situation, like it has been said that Kubera as well as Ravana. I would be very limitedly talking about Ravana here, but still to touch base, actually Kubera's co-brother being Ravana actually was he became. It's been written that he became very very jealous of Kubera's growth. Okay, and also getting like mm, Alkapuri directly from Brahma, and even Pushpaka Vimana. If you have known this particular word, Pushpaka Vimana, it's the same Pushpaka Vimana where actually he actually hijacks, or we can call it as actually he kidnaps Masita from um, Aranya when Rama has gone out. So that is actually from a Ramayana perspective. The context here, what I'm trying to tell is Pushpaka Vimana, Alkapuri, all these things was actually owned, and the owner of them are actually Kubera. So it's been said that Kubera, seeing the Kubera's wealth and the beauty of Alkapuri, Ravana got very furious about his own brother, attacked Kubera, stole means he stole the his Pushpaka Vimana, and I know like it's a magical chariot. You would be knowing it more. And second, actually, he also even betrayed Kubera. Like he he snatched everything. He snatched everything, even whatever we call it as a Lanka, Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka means Sri actually is actually a term called as an gold. It's a land of gold. It's a place of gold where actually the Devata himself resides. That particular place was created for his own personal perspective. Kubera had prepared that particular land, and he had activated that land actually as a prosperity land. Ravana, being a co-brother, he even stealed those also. So after getting stealing him, making betrayed and everything, but it is also said that Kubera had two options: one, fight with him, or forgive him. So it has been very clearly articulated the Swabhava of the Kubera that he gave the forgiveness to the Ravana, and he continued to live like his principles. He followed his principle with a kindness and dharma. That's the reason actually he had a very um, Satvika Swarupa Swabhava. Okay, he had it. So Kubera's father, as I told you, Visharanava. Actually, the Kubera's one more name is also called as in Visharanava. Okay, and Visharava is actually the Rushi, as I told you earlier, the sage. Where here actually, uh, it's been said that his father, okay, Visharava, had taught Kubera certain siddhis to activate the Shiva into their life. Due to which actually there was lot of penance or a tapas which was being done by Kubera, such that he had a lot of blessings directly from Shiva. For every small and problems, he always used to call Shiva to support him. It's also been articulated that Kubera was the greatest devotee of Shiva, even Ravana also. But like the slokas, whatever the Ravana has written, the mantras, what he has invoked, everyone has their own quality. But when you come about the Aradhaka, okay, I tell the same thing in all my videos. Like there is something called an Ishtadevata, Kula Devata, and Anugraha Devata, and also there is something called as a Marga Devata. See, Marga Devata plays very vital role. He is the only person who pulls you into his line. Even if you are not, your family is not praying even Shiva, uh, you will be pulled to it to do a Aradhana of him. That's the power of uh, Shiva when it comes to. Okay, I would not give much more information, but here actually, yes, in the tapas, actually, when his father had given a one of a I can call it as suggestion to Kubera that he need to sit in one particular place where he need to invoke the Shiva in case if he has any kind of a trouble. Okay, that is called as an Avimukta Kshetra. I'll talk about that in a later couple of minutes. But that is a Kshetra information which he had revealed that in case in your life, if you come across any kind of problem, you being a Dhanada, you being the wealth, the god of the wealth, in case if you come across any kind of a problems in future, his father was able to gauge at the day one only. He told that actually this is a your solution. You need to go and do a you need to activate the Bhairava in the Swarnakarshana Swarupa. Then only you will be able to get it. So even there is a story behind also this. Maybe I'll try to connect those. Okay. Coming to mm, the kingdom of Sri Lanka, or what we call it as a Lanka. The Visharava, the king, the Rishi, Visharava Rishi, the father of Ravana. As I told you, when he married to Kaikeshi's uh, grandfather was so he was from Somali and he had so much of wealth that actually he had given like half of the Somali's treasure to Visharava. But Visharava, being a Rishi, he actually ignored those. For him, attaining Purushartha, attaining to going towards the Shiva Tattva was only the ultimate source of his purpose of life. He always had it. So in it's been written like when Kaikeshi, the mother of Ravana, was got married. The Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, as well as the Surpanaka when they born. Vibhishana is some one among the Chiranjeevis. I believe you know about this. Maybe we will talk about Chiranjeevis only. There also actually Bhairava Swarupa will come into a picture. Maybe I'll share those connection how exactly he get connected to that. But here, um, uh, like Lanka actually was the place of, as I told you, Lanka was a place of Kubera. He had called Vishwakarma. He had called Vishwakarma to build this particular city. Vishwakarma is an architect for the gods. Okay, Vishwakarma, whatever we have, we pray him on the, especially on the northern India. There is a particular day which is being celebrated as a Vishwakarma Puja, Jayanti. Okay, and there is even a community called as a Vishwakarma community where people are coming from that particular community. That is like architecture. He was an architect of the entire Sri Lanka or Lanka. Any good things, believe me, even Vishwakarma will come into a many aspects when it comes to the Puranas and even in Vedas. It is said that actually whenever Devata wants to build anything magnificent or what we call as glittering in this entire universe where uh, it's unimaginable, at those point the work was always been outsourced to Vishwakarma. It's not like he was a contractor. He was like actually a devata of architecture. That was actually his precise, um, what do you call it as like architect knowledge, what he carried. So Lanka was completely been developed, or we can call it as from a scratch. It was developed by Vishwakarma and it was handed over to his Swami Kubera. And Kubera finally he lost to his sibling brother Ravana. He stole it. So Kubera, what happened is actually it has been said like after stealing everything from Kubera, Kubera was being beaten and he was sent away. And Kubera was actually had gone to the um, Avimukta Kshetra. This is what the real story comes into picture. Avimukta Kshetra is actually a Kashi, where Varanasi, whatever we call it as. In Kashi is Kubera was actually in Kashi. He was asked to go to the Avimukta Kshetra. There is one particular place in Kashi where he was asked to. The entire it's a tapo bhumi. Okay, Kashi is actually been called like even Shiva. He came when he came to this existence. Uh, the particular bhumi was active, and entire the Kashi resides on the Trishula of the Shiva only. So to talk about the Kashi, which is like one video will not be really sufficient because so much of intense information is hidden in the Kashi information. Okay, okay. Just think that actually Kashi is a bhumi of punya bhumi, or we call it as karma bhumi, or rather than it's a punya bhumi of all devatas. Entire devaloka actually resides in Kashi, and the protector of entire Kashi is Bhairava. So, believe me, we are missing out this particular essence, the Bhairava. We are only trying to talk inside who is actually inside the grama or what or inside the city. But people are forgetting that actually who is actually doing the governing of the entire city, who is actually because of him we are safety. Okay, you may accept this statement. Like even if we are very happy today in our existing premises, it is all because of the government, local bodies, government, as well as the army. Okay, army, um, or the people, especially who are guiding us. They being the rakshaka for us. Okay, we need to first daily bow down to them, that because of their sacrifice, their dedication, we are very happy in our homes with our family. That was the life of our Guru Bhairava. So he went to coming back to the story about Kubera. He was when he was sent back from Lanka, he came to Avimukta Kshetra. So Avimukta Kshetra, it is also written in Kubera, uh, in the Kubera Grantha, or we can call it as the information of the Kubera. Now it's not a Kubera Purana. We don't have a Kubera Purana actually, but few of the rishis tell that actually how to activate the Kubera. There is actually a proper process. We can call it as an there is an articulation being done from a tantric perspective, how to activate even Kubera in tantric perspective. It is said that actually when he was sent back from his own place, he was after stealing everything from him when he came to Kashi, he went to Manikarnika Ghat. Okay, he went to the Manikarnika Ghat and he performed the rituals for the what do you call it, like he did actually a penance session starting there. Okay, and Manikarnika is a very powerful place when it comes to the Kashi, and even it has been said, even the darshan of Vishwanatha will be unfulfilled unless you take the blessings of Kalabhairava. Before taking Kalabhairava, it has been also said that actually you need to take the darshan of Bhatuka Bhairava. And also before going to the Bhatuka Bhairava, it is recited that you are supposed to go to the Ganga Mata, give a salutation to the Ganga Mata, go to the Manikarnika Ghat, do a meditation for a couple of minutes about the Shiva, and then go to the places and take the darshana. See, each darshana, whatever we do it on the Mahakshetras, has a very closest information. There is a process which is involved. This is how actually we are supposed to do. But today it has become like Punyakshetra as a tourist place. Punyakshetra should always not be visited more than 3 times. It is written in Shastra. Okay, and more than 3 times. Why? As a you being a, for example, if you are a son of the family, for the pinda pradhana of the family members, normally they go to the Kashi and they leave the ancestors tarpana, pitru tarpana, and they come back. Similarly, it has a lot of importance when it comes to the way we need to follow in the punya kshetras, how we need to follow, why we need to go, how we need to go, and what are the durations we are supposed to visit. It doesn't mean that actually you are gone very nearby to some kshetra and you have a from that kshetra to other kshetra, it is like 10 minutes of or a 2 hours of journey, I will go that place and I'll come back. No, it doesn't work like that. Previously, it was being said whenever you go the parikrama of the particular kshetra, Mahakshetras, it is only the destination, from destination back to the source. No other temples. Today, if you see even the whatever many of the people, especially in the south, they do this blunder. I feel this as a blunder. I tell you why as a blunder, because when it comes to the Ayyappa, Shabarimala Ayyappa, people especially going visiting to the Ayyappa after doing a mandala, 48 days of mandala puja. See, Ayyappa is a very, 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 very powerful deity. Okay? He is a Harihara Putra. He is actually a son of both Shiva as well as Vishnu. Vishnu in a Mohini Swarupa was able to give the birth to the Ayyappa. See, basically, Ayyappa is he is also one also called as Kshetra Rakshaka. He is also a Kshetra Rakshaka. So before going to him, it has been said that actually you need to have certain mandalas of puja to him. Then only you are capable or eligible to go and have his darshana. Okay, and even to take his darshana, you need to do such a penance that it should be a like I believe you would be knowing it when it comes to the Ayyappa Puja Pradhana or procedure. It is a lot of things actually are there. There are even the different levels, or we can call it as different aspects we need to jump when it comes to the Darshana Paddhati. It is so told like number of times actually each time the Swami get very closer to the devotee or Upasaka. Why I was able to tell this information is similarly, Manikarnika Ghat, visiting there is also such important that that kshetra is more auspicious for because of this place, Manikarnika Ghat. All the ghats, okay, but Manikarnika Ghat, very why it is so important. It is also, I believe you recall our past video where also I talk about spoke about Maa Lakshmi doing a penance, doing a tapas in the Avimukta Kshetra, the same Avimukta Kshetra, Varanasi or Kashi, which she went and she did the penance to invoke Devata Bhairava, and she was able to get back her Siri. Coming back to the story, Kubera, when he was left, when he went there, he was able to actually get his Siri back. It's been considered that actually he was able to Siri back. And in one situation, there was one Rakshasa, or we can call it as a one battle between Asuras as well as Devatas happened. Devasura, his name is Devasura. Actually, in that battle, the Devatas were so we can call it as bankrupted of the total expenditure where they did it in the particular battle was so huge that actually this complete battle was sponsored by Kubera. And when Kubera was trying running away from the cash, he called Maa Lakshmi, and Lakshmi also started supporting or funding, I can call it as funding, the particular war from Devata perspective. Rakshasa, when it was, like maybe we will discuss those about later. But here, when it was being sponsored by Lakshmi as well as Kubera, the expenditure was so high expensive that finally they came into a situation where they were bankrupted. They were completely zero. They came into a situation like Danaharaka, completely zero. They came to zero. Siri became Lakshmi became Alakshmi. Alakshmi is actually a sister of Lakshmi, but in the contextual perspective, I'm trying to tell that Lakshmi became the Daridra Lakshmi. Okay, so that's how actually the Lakshmi Ma was able to get into the discussion topic. And when Kubera as well as Lakshmi, they went to the doing the tapas in the Avimukta Kshetra in the Vasi Karna in the Varanasi at the Kashi, they were able to invoke Swarnakarshana Bhairava. So it has been said that actually to do the to activate Swarnakarshana Bhairava, Ma Lakshmi as well as Kubera did the penance for 10,000 years. Then only Kubera with grandeur Swarupa, Vishwa Swarupa, whatever we call it as Vishwa, it's more than those, because the entire, the king of the prosperity, the king of the, uh, what we call it as the owner of the prosperity, the source of the prosperity came into front of them. Okay, and Bhairava was a, he was able to grant the wealth to both Maa Lakshmi as well as Kubera, that whatever they have lost, they will be able to get back, removing all the financial obstacles. They were able to come out of that situation. um, it's been, his iconography is very beautifully been articulated. Maybe I'll try to give my best when it comes to the way he was looking like. It has been said that actually when Swarnakarshana Bhairava came into an into the Swarupa, when he showed his Divya Swarupa to actually Mahalakshmi as well as Kubera, Mahalakshmi sitting on the left and Kubera sitting on the right, Swarnakarshana Bhairava was so radiant, like it has been said that it was more than 10 crores of suns. The light was so radiant. What we call it as golden attire of his was actually, he was so vibrant that actually he was not able to even see the Devata, even Lakshmi Ma. We tell that actually Lakshmi Ma is so vibrant. Her, when she came into an existence, it was like more than a millions of sun was active. And when Swarnakarshana Bhairava came into an existence, it was a more than a million, crores, okay, millions, where actually the, even the Devatas got trembled seeing his Swarupa. So complex, so beautiful, so Sundaramurti, especially, particularly Swarnakarshana Bhairava Swaroopa is very, 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 very beautiful. It is also said that it actually, Bhairava's Satvika Swarupa is actually Swarnakarshana Bhairava. So that's how actually he came into an existence, having a four hands mass setting. See, these are there. Like, I don't want to talk about more about his iconography, because you have a lot of information today available, or a lot of photos also available, how exactly he looks like, rather than how he looks like, what are ways his qualities and how exactly he was invoked. I'm trying to convey those information. See, sadhana of the wealth is actually, in Rudramalaya Tantra also it is written like Shiva himself is a secret. Okay, and this secret was revealed by Shiva to Parvati Ma in the Dakshinamurti Swarupa to Ma Parvati, that Swarnakarshana Bhairava activation is the only possibilities. And this was actually told by Nandi, and Shiva himself had given this information to Nandi. And there was in a situation, as I told you, like when the Devatas got bankrupted, when even Kubera as well as Lakshmi did not had a wealth to even to the sponsor to the Yuddham. Finally, they were in a situation like actually they did not have an option. They went to the Rishi Munis asking that actually how to get back the money. That's where actually they went to the Kailasha. In the Kailasha, when all the Rishis, everyone went there, they initially actually activated Brahma. And Brahma also told that it is not in my control. You are supposed to go to the Kailasha. And all the Rishis, along with the Devata, when they went to the um, Kailasa, in the doors of the Kailasa entrance, Nandi actually was being questioned with this information. Like, we being a Devatas and Rishis, we have come into a situation like we have bankrupted because of the Yuddha, which is currently ongoing, where even Kubera and Malakshmi are actually, they have bankrupted. So that's how actually they asked Nandi Maharaj, and Nandi Bhagwan was able to grace those information to them. So you just think all these informations directly Shiva has not been told to. It is a Nandi. In Nandi normally we see that actually he is just an uh, Nandi Swarupa is very, 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 very important when it comes to. He was the greatest knowledge uh, knowledge holder, and he was actually like lot so calm and composed about his guru, his ishta, his daiva. Like whenever he used to sit outside of the Kailasha, he used to always wait for his daiva to come outside and give his darshana. So always it has been said that in the in the process of meditation, in the process of a sadhana, we need to be like a Nandi. We need to wait for our guru Bhairava to come into our life and start giving the blessings of him, such that actually we can have a meaningful life. So this is how actually Nandi Nandi Bhagwan. Okay, Nandi Bhagwan was able to give this information to all the devatas, like Maa Lakshmi as well as Kubera need to do a pronunciation there. And it was been this action first initially before going to the kshetra, that is actually Avamukta kshetra. They initially did the pronunciation in the Badridama. So Badridama is also today's the holy place of Varanasi. It's been said. So that's how actually Swarnakarshana Bhairava came into it, was instrumental for having getting back the Siri of Kubera as well as Mahalakshmi. So this is all about this information today. In next video, we may maybe in grace of Bhairava, we'll talk about the sadhana paddhati. Maybe we will deep dive into how to activate him into our life. Namaskar. Om Bhairavaya Namaha. Om Hingulambikaya Namaha. Om Kamakyaya Namaha. ओम कामाख्य वरदे देवी नीलपर्वतवासिनी त्वं देवी जगतन्मात्रं योनिमुद्रेण नमोस्तुते ओम हिंगुले परम हिंगुले अमृतरूपिणी तनशक्ति मनश्वेश्वरी हिंगुलाय नमः ओम कालकालाय विद्महे कालातीताय धीमहि तन्नः कालभैरव प्रचोदयात् नमस्कार.